All right, here we go. This is part 2 of Zentangle patterns. Okay, we did our first 4 the other day. You're going to work on another 4 today. So the first one is going to be kind of like a variation of this top one that you see right up here. Okay, instead of starting out with a checkerboard going that way, we're going to kind of make it go a little bit more diagonal. And I'm going to make these a little bit bigger and wider too. So I'm going to make some lines going diagonal. I'm going to try and keep them evenly spaced, so that they're, they're as equal as possible spacing in between them. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing going across here like this. It's going to look kind of like a fence. Okay, and they're a little bit on the larger side, which is fine. Okay, so that looks good. Then I would like you guys to do this. I'd like you to draw a larger square like this, or like that triangular type shape in each one of these squares. So in every single one of those squares that you see, you're going to make a larger, you can call it a square if you want to, or you can call it like that triangular type shape. Okay, try and be precise, try and make them as even as possible with the previous ones. See how this one right here is lining up with that one right there. And I'm making them a little bit darker so you can see these. Okay, so that is the second step. It's the same exact thing we did up here, only this one we made small ones. These ones would be considered bigger ones. If I shaded that in, it's the same exact type of pattern as that one. It's just on a diagonal, and it's with a larger box as opposed to a smaller box in the corner. Okay, so I'm doing the same thing here. I'm making these a little bit darker so you guys can see them. Okay, I'm going to put a half of one right there, a half of one right there, another half right there. Okay, it's really important that you fill out some of these open areas right here with partial lines to make your patterns kind of look like they're all merging into one another. Okay, so that's already looking pretty cool just as is. Okay, and if you want to stop there and kind of color it in that way, I'm fine with that. That looks really cool. But I'm going to do my last step, and my last step is to take this point right here, okay, of these darker, okay, this darker line, and I'm just going to connect it to the top of this larger box that it exists in. Okay, and this is the one that I say kind of looks a little bit more like a waffle. So you're taking this box right here, the smaller box, this is that's in the bigger box, and you're connecting the corner of this smaller box to the corner of the bigger box. So if you just kind of do that small line in every single one of these guys like that, it's going to look kind of like, either you call it like a fence, you call it a waffle type pattern, but it's just a variation of this one that you see right there. And again, if you want to color these guys in, or you color in every other one of them, you can do that. You can see some of my examples there up on the whiteboard. There's one of these that there's a couple of those that look like that up there. So that's your next pattern. Okay, that one's a little bit harder than this initial one, but this initial one you should be able to do. This one might be a little bit more difficult. Okay, the next one we're going to do is kind of not similar to this one, but we're going to start out again with some diagonal lines. Now these diagonal lines, some can be a little bit skinnier, some can be a little bit wider. I'm going to make some wider ones, and then I'm going to come back with a couple skinnier ones right here. And they can be kind of like any width. So I'm just going to make some random lines kind of going on at a diagonal. Okay, this one is going to be called stairs. Okay, we're going to make them look like they're actual stairs. So pick any one of these sections. Okay, it can be any one of these sections, and I'd like you to make an up and down line, and make a couple up and down lines. Okay, lines that are kind of parallel with the edge of your box like this. So I'm going to make a bunch of up and down lines in between there like that. Okay, and then in my next section, after I make those up and down lines like that, I'm going to make a perpendicular line, which is a line that creates like a 90-degree angle with that previous line right there. Okay, and that line is going to be a horizontal line. So horizontal, 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 and I'm going to add another one up there and maybe another one up there. Okay, and then in this section right here, you're going to make a vertical line, and vertical, 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 and I'm going to put one or two more down there like that. And then this next section, you're going back to horizontal, 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 and you're seeing how it's connecting with the previous one right there. Horizontal, horizontal, and horizontal. Okay, if you have your phones and you want to go back and you can pause this as you go, you know, it's something that you might want to go back and consider looking at. Okay, this one, these were going vertical, so these are going to go horizontal, horizontal, and these are going to go vertical and vertical. And you can see it's just a pattern. Okay, it's a pattern. In this section, they're going horizontal. In this section, they're going vertical. So we're alternating them. Okay, you can see these patterns are probably getting a little bit tougher or a little bit more challenging, but I want you to make an attempt at them, and we'll see how you do. Okay, so that is your staircase. Okay, it should look like you can like step down, and kind of go like that. All right, you can color them in every other one, like piano keys, like black, white, black, white, black, white, and alternate the way you color them in too. Okay, so we're gonna do, let's do one more easy one before we get to a hard one. Okay, we're gonna do, let's do another checkerboard here. Okay, so start me out with a checkerboard like this, and we're gonna do puzzle pieces. Okay, believe it or not, puzzle pieces are pretty easy when you do it the right way. So I'm just gonna kind of make 4 sections going down, 4 sections going across. Okay, I'll give you a moment to do that. Now, puzzle pieces are pretty simple. You just take your square there and you erase, you grab your eraser and you erase the middle part of each one of these edges there. Okay, and on one of those middle parts, I'm either gonna make a rounded line going inward like that, or a rounded line going outward like that, or inward, okay, or outward. Okay, and that's one puzzle piece. That's one puzzle piece. Let's zoom in on that so you can see it a little better. And then I'm gonna do the same thing over here. I'm gonna erase the middle part here, here, and here. And then I'm just gonna kind of like alternate it. I mean, this one could be going downward too, but I'm just gonna kind of make it up as I go here, and we'll have this one go in there like that. So you can kind of make it random. When you color in your puzzle pieces, you can make patterns on them. You can make some look like they're missing. There's, again, some examples on the whiteboard if you want to look at those. Some cool examples on how to do some different types of shading in your puzzle pieces. Okay, so again, just erase that center area, and you guys can kind of complete these however you want. It doesn't have to look exactly like this, but you do have to kind of use these same type of directions and techniques. Okay, but you know, go around and maybe erase all the centers of all of them at one time. And then just kind of put in the rounded puzzle piece parts. All right, and there's your puzzle pieces. And again, you know, feel free to shade some in, you know, make some patterns, make some look like they're missing. okay, and have a little fun with it. Okay, so there's puzzle pieces. Let's zoom it back out here for our last pattern. And our last pattern is going to be one that's, you know, slightly a little bit more complicated, but you know, it's if you just follow these steps, you should be able to do it. So I'm going to make, you know, one little shaded box there, and then I'm going to make a couple more going down. So we're going to keep them evenly spaced, and I'm just going to kind of go like this. Okay, so make 4 going down that way, and then make another 4 kind of evenly spaced going down this way. See how they're kind of all lined up. And another row. And I do want you to shade these in. See how they look like they're evenly spaced going this way and that way? It's almost like they're, it's like a grid. So they're all lined up with each other, and they're little tiny squares. Don't make them too big. Kind of keep them on the smaller side. Okay, I have 4 rows and 4 columns. You can have more if you want to, but I think that's good to go. Okay, so now we'll stop. We'll wait for you guys to kind of do that, and then we're going to go on to our next step. Okay, so we're going to go into the next step here. You can always pause it and until that's done. This is the next step, step 2. Okay, we're going to go across here, and we're going to start with a line that goes from this side of the box to the bottom of that square, right there. Okay, let's zoom in so you guys can kind of see this a little better. Okay, and then from the top of this square to the top of that square, you're going top to top, and then bottom to bottom, and then top to top, and then bottom to bottom. Okay, so that's the pattern. Bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Okay, in this next row, okay, we're not going to start with the bottom. Instead, we're going to alternate it, and we're going to start out with the top. So we're going top and then bottom, just the opposite of what we did in that first row. And then we're going top and then bottom and then top. Okay, so this last row we start with the top. This next row we're going to start with the bottom. Okay, so it's an alternating pattern. Bottom, top, bottom, top, bottom. Okay, and then if you figured it out already, okay, this last row we start out with the bottom, this next row we got to start out with the top. So I'm going top, and then bottom, top, and then bottom, and then top. Okay, so it looks kind of like that. And then we have one last step, and that's to go up and down, up and down, up and down, and connect these boxes. Okay, in this one right here, we're going to start on the right-hand side. So we're going to go right-hand side, and then we're going to go left. And then we're going to go right, and then we're going to go left, and then right as it goes off the page. Okay, this next row, this last row we started on the right-hand side of this box, right there. This box, we're going to start on the left-hand side of that box. We're going to go left, right, left, right, left. Okay, and then we started in this previous row, we started on the left-hand side. This row, or this column, we're going to start on the right-hand side. So right, left, right, left, right. And then the last row, you're starting on which side? The left side. Okay, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, this one's called the weave, or like the pie. It's like a woven type effect that you get when you put them on top of like a pie, something like that. You can see if you look at all these patterns together, it looks pretty cool. Alrighty, you know, and these are kind of very squared off. Your patterns can be kind of like blended in different kind of random shapes, but you know, doing all these patterns together is going to make it look pretty cool in the end. All right, that's Zentangle Part 2.